Welcome to the Dice Tower, a series of video reviews about board and card games. Here are your hosts, Tom Vasel and Sam Healey.
Hey folks, I'm Tom Vasel.
Zee Garcia, what's up, everybody?
Sam Healey, what's up?
Today we're taking a look at the second module and the third adventure for Time Stories, A Prophecy of Dragons. This is not a spoiler review. We're just going to talk about our general impressions of it. We're assuming you know how to play Time Stories at this point. We'll assume you've played through at least Asylum, the first case, or
Right.
is there anybody who just went and straight and played the second case? I don't.
And you're not supposed to if you did. So yeah, play it. If you intend to play these and you have not done so.
Plus, there's another video where you actually went through playthrough, I think, right? Where
Yeah. I did a review of Time Stories. You could watch that.
So you can go back and watch that one to see how you play Time Stories, and then come back to this one.
Yep.
You know, speaking of that, do you think that this game, that you need to play through all three? Like, if someone skipped the Marcy case, which is possible, could they jump into this one?
I don't think it's hugely problematic, but you are supposed to, clearly, and maybe it should even be more obvious that you're supposed to.
I think you should. I think there's a definite timeline that they are following as they produce this,
And they intend for you to follow that.
They're revealing more as you go through each module.
Correct, right. So I think ultimately you could, and that would be okay if you really despised one setting or something. But playing through them all is part of the intent.
But having said that, you kind of, despise is a hard word, but you don't like the fantasy setting, and that kind of turns you off to this. But now...
Yeah, if we're getting right into it, this is... Yes, that was originally apprehensive because I am not a huge fantasy person, and I thought this looked a little generic when it came to the fantasy, but I can now say that this is a slam dunk expansion to the game. I won't say it's my favorite, because I still really enjoyed the one that came in the box, I think, a little bit more ultimately, but this is, it blew way past my expectations to become something that I am beyond glad that I played.
So the reason I led into that is because, as you said, you may not like a certain setting, so you can skip that module.
Mm-hmm.
I would say don't do that, because you might be very, very surprised.
Yeah, you never quite know what you're getting into with these expansions ultimately, yeah.
Yeah, I'm with Z. I don't know. I'm going to have to ruminate on this more. We're recording this after we've finished, right? And so I'm on a high, wah! But I wonder, because I'm sitting there going, well, maybe did I like the first one better? I definitely like this more than Marcy. Okay, that's easy.
Mm-hmm.
I might like this more than Asylum.
Right.
And I think there's a couple reasons for that. The artwork in this one is the best of all three. The replayability seems to be the highest in this one. I think I could play through this again and be okay.
Yeah.
Even knowing what I know.
Right.
I don't know how many times I could do that.
You put this down for a couple of months, I could see you easily coming back to it.
Yeah, but I'm saying I think I could play through it right now again.
I'll give you that, but I'm saying I think if you put this down for a couple of months, you can easily come back. There does seem to be that much content.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one is
You just can't remember everything.
You can't, right. And you will encounter new things on future playthroughs. What did you think of this one, Sam? Because your reaction to this surprised me as well.
This is probably my favorite one. I like fantasy better than the pseudo-horror of the first one. And the second one kind of had a generic post-apocalyptic theme, which I was okay with, but it didn't turn me off. But it wasn't like, oh, wow, this is awesome, completely that way. This one, I really, and again, without giving any spoilers, there are so many convergences in this module that it's like, whoa, okay. Now we're seeing a little bit of the bigger picture. The first
in this overall story that they're attempting to tell.
The overall storyline that they're trying to tell. Now I'm beginning to see the grandeur, I guess you could say, of the entire thematic setting of this game.
Right, that's a good way
And that's
to put it.
one of the things that I really did enjoy about this. I liked, you didn't get to interact with all of those different convergences, but you got to see them. And that's what I liked about it. This I think is the most thematic one so far.
I also find it to be the one that furthers the story the most so far. And by that I mean whatever overreaching story they are attempting to tell here, which is why I do suggest you play these in order.
Right.
This is the one that I feel, if you are taking a look at these as chapters, this is the one chapter that reveals the most, kind of furthers the story the most so far.
Yeah, each of these, the theme, is more than what you thought. The first one, horror. The second one, well, I don't want to spoil the second one, but the second one seems like a generic theme, and you're like, oh, it's a little more than that. This one was a lot more than what we thought it was.
Right, exactly.
Other things I liked about this one, I really liked the characters. I felt that the characters in this one were very different. We really struggled with what characters to take.
Correct.
Because they all seemed pretty cool. And
They're
as we
all
went
interesting also. It's they were enjoyable characters.
right, and as we went through, we'd be like, oh, I wish I had this character at this point. And other times we'd be like, yes, all our characters had a moment to shine
Absolutely.
at different things, and the options that we had were greater than the first one, I think.
Yeah.
So I like that. Now, I know that before this came out, people said, I read some of the early reviews, there was talks about a little bit of there's more rules problems in this one than the other ones. And I can see that to some degree. Like there were several times we're like, okay, how exactly does this work? But what we did was we just kind of said what makes sense thematically.
Right.
How does this work? And it's possible that we made minor mistakes because of that.
Right.
But our enjoyment was high. They gave us this cool framework, and for the most part, it wasn't that difficult to figure things out.
I didn't really. I was concerned about that, running into rules issues that might break the game down, or like clutch everything up. But I don't think we ran into anything like that.
No.
Maybe we were lucky, also, right? That could happen where there is somewhere a card that says something that is problematic or doesn't explain itself. We did not really run into any issues. If it's there, we don't. We didn't see it.
We don't know that it's there.
And the game has those still sometimes hilarious dead end things that can happen.
Or infuriating
Sometimes
dead ends.
hilarious, this happened here, and therefore this happens here.
Yes.
Totally unexpected.
Again, this is the wonderful thing, or one of the wonderful things about these games and these scenarios, is that you will remember the stories. This is like an amazing role-playing session.
Yeah.
That many months from now, we will remember moments we had in these games.
We still talk about moments in the first one.
Right. So we will, there are those things that will keep coming up, moments, memories, and that's the beauty of it. You're both playing a game and sort of creating shared memories and sort of in-jokes, And this one will give you that, guaranteed.
All right. Final thumbs and all that.
This one definitely has 2 huge thumbs way up, and I'd give it a 3rd and 4th if I had them available.
I was already a big fan of Time Stories, and honestly, I was concerned about this. I thought this theme is going to let me down. I am very happy to say 2 thumbs way up from me. This game just keeps on bringing it, and I'm very happy to keep playing it.
2 thumbs up for me. I also went back in an alternate time zone and have 2 thumbs up there. And in the future, 2 thumbs up.
6 thumbs up from Tom.
But are any of them the same thumbs? Ooh. Anyway, I'm Tom Vasel.
Zee Garcia, thank you.
Sam Healey, see you on the flip side.
Thanks for watching our review today. For more information about board games, as well as the #1 board game audio podcast, check out Dicetower.com for reviews, interviews, and more. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.